Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We'll chant Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verses 54 to 58.
Arjuna uvacha Stita prajnasya ka bhasha Samadhistasya keshava Stitadhim kim prabhasheta Kimasita vrajeta kim. Shri Bhagavan uvacha Prajahati yada kaman Sarvan partha manogatan Atmanyevatmana tushtaha Stitah prajnastadochyate Dukkheshvanudvignamanaha Sukheshu vigataspruhaha Vitaragabhayakrodhaha Stithadirmuniruchyate Yes sarvatra nabhisnehaha Tat prapya shubhashubham Nabhinandati nadveshti Tasya prajna pratisthita Yada samharate chayam Kurmongani vasarvashaha Indriyani indriyarthebhyaha Tasya prajna pratisthita.
Profile of a perfect human being. Sanskrit, it is called as Sthita Prajnaha. Jnaha means one who knows. Prajnaha means one who knows well. Sthita Prajnaha means one who knows well steadily at all times. Basically, it is referring to a person who is not just well informed but absolutely transformed. Now we have a school next door, MR Jaipuria school next door, say the MR Jaipuria school. It's called a School of Conscious Transformation, right? So what is important is to bring about that transformation. Today what is happening is we are bombarded by information, isn't it? We have this technology, YouTube and everything. We are bombarded with information. But hardly there is any transformation. Once you are transformed, it's permanent. It is steady. So when he says Sthita Prajnaha, means it's talking about a person with wisdom, a person who's gone through complete transformation. As human beings, we have an infinite potential, right? In this world, there are different variety of species. There is mineral kingdom, vegetable kingdom, animal kingdom and human kingdom. And amongst human kingdom, some are mineral-like. Swami Ramtirtha calls them as mineral men. Some are vegetable-like. So they are called as vegetable men. And some are animal-like, they are called as animal men. And very rarely you find a person who is like a human being. He may appear like a human being, does he or she behave like a human being? And a human being has the potential to reach the highest within and become God-like, who would be referred as God-men. You understand? So a human being alone can rise from the level of being a mineral to a vegetable to an animal to a human to godlike. You can become God-like, meaning you can become God. So that is called Sthita Prajnaha, who has achieved the full potential. One who has realized the self, one who has gone through absolute transformation. Bhagavad Gita builds a strong character. It gives you self-confidence. It makes you self-contented. It makes you self-pleased, self-poised. It makes you self-controlled. It makes you become self-aware. Right? So, all this Bhagavad Gita can give you, provided you give some time to Bhagavad Gita. You understand? Even the shoes will serve us if we give some time to shoes, if we take care of the shoes. If supposing you don't take care of the shoes will get worn out very fast. If you give some time, it will serve you for a longer period of time. So, like Swami Chinmayananda ji says, we know that you have gone through Bhagavad Gita, but what we would like to know is whether Bhagavad Gita has gone through you. You understand? All of us just mechanically go through the subject. But once you get the spirit of it, it can bring about that absolute transformation. So this portion, Sthita Prajna, is given in the Bhagavad Gita in 2nd chapter called as Sankhya Yoga, which means the yoga of knowledge. And from sloka number 54 to 72. 2nd chapter of the Gita has 72 slokas, out of which from verse 54 to 72, he gives the Sthita Prajnaha, profile of a perfect human being. 54th shloka, Arjuna is asking the question, please describe a man of perfection. And then 55th shloka till 72nd shloka, Sri Krishna in 18 shlokas paints the picture of a perfect human being. Last time when I had come to Lucknow, we had completed the portion from verse number 11 till 53 of chapter 2. In fact, Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters, as you know, and the first chapter is only Arjuna talking. The first chapter is called as Arjuna Vishada Yoga, the yoga of Arjuna's despondency. Arjuna fell into stress and Sri Krishna revived him from this state of stress and made him perform excellently, fight against the Kauravas, establish righteousness, as you all know. So Bhagavad Gita talks about stress management. Bhagavad Gita gives formulas for success. Bhagavad Gita helps us to attain excellence. Bhagavad Gita also gives us the science of relationship. It talks about the gunas of various individuals and how you can relate understanding the gunas so that you can have perfect relationship in life. And Bhagavad Gita also gives lot of slokas for leadership, for parenting. So therefore, Bhagavad Gita should not be looked at as a religious text. Unfortunately, many people look at Bhagavad Gita as a mere religious text. But Bhagavad Gita is a complete life science. I would present it like that. It gives the complete life science as to how to relate with the world. It talks about the individual, the nature of the individual. It talks about the nature of the world, and it talks about how to relate with the world. Everyone is looking for only one thing in life. What is that one thing that everybody is looking for? If you have to put it in one word, what is that one thing that everyone is looking for? Anybody? Happiness. In Sanskrit, we call it as pravriti and nivriti. Pravriti means action. Nivritti means giving up of action, not doing. You understand? Nivritti means avoiding action. Pravritti means doing action. We do an action for happiness, or we avoid doing an action for happiness. From the time we wake up till the time we go to bed, from womb to tomb, all that we are really searching for is happiness. You understand? So everyone is searching for only one thing, and that is happiness. Now, if you are looking to get somewhere, should you have the address, or you should not have the address? You should just merely go about searching for it. If you are trying to get to your friend's house, should you have the address of the friend's house or not? If you wanted to come to this auditorium for lecture, if you wanted to attend the Bhagavad Gita lecture today, you should know where it is happening, isn't it? So if you are searching for happiness, did you ever question what is the residential address of happiness? Did anyone question what is the residential address of happiness? Nobody questioned. We just saw our seniors, our elders, everybody running after certain things in life: name, fame, power, position, family, status, money, etc. And in the hope of getting happiness. And they're still having the hope even after attaining a lot of name, fame, power, position. They've got name, they've got fame, they've got whatever they've been searching for maybe, but they're still searching for happiness. Isn't it? We see them running after happiness in this direction without questioning whether that is exactly where the happiness resides. We are also running. Isn't it? Isn't that what is happening? This is what you call in Hindi as bed chal. Isn't it? What do you call this as? Bed chal. Simply running where everybody is running. And in case you stop somebody and say, "Excuse me, where are you going? You seem to be in a hurry." They say, "Excuse me, I don't have any time. Please ask the other fellow who is running behind me. I have no time to answer you. I am running. If you want, you also run." Because we feel if we don't run, if we don't catch up with the other people, we'll miss out on something. First thing in life, as human beings, we should have what is called as goal. Tomorrow in the school next door, early morning, 8 o'clock or 8:15, I'm not sure, 8:15 is it? We are having the topic, we are going to talk on the topic goal setting. It's only human being who talks about goal setting. You can go and ask any cow or buffalo, "What is your goal?" Would you get any reply? What's the purpose? Why are you going in this direction? What are you looking for? Would you get any answer from the cow? No answer, isn't it? In Tamil, we call them as Kal Nadai. Kal means leg, feet. Nadai means those species who walk using their feet, as if we walk using our legs. Then why are they called as Kal Nadai? And human beings are called as Manidan in Tamil, Manushya in Sanskrit. Right? Hindi also Manushya. So, why are they called as Kal Nadai and Manidan, human being? Because animals purely live to fulfill their senses. That's about it. If a cow is walking about and on the other side of the road they see some grass, they'll try to cross the road, go and feed on the grass. Isn't it? Whereas a human being walking on the road, you can attract him or her with so many things on the other side of the road, but he still says, "No, I have a family, I have a goal, I need to pursue that." Or rather, human beings should function like that. Then only he or she is a human being. So when we talk about goal, it is only for the human being we talk about goal. We don't talk about goals for the animals, isn't it? Animals have no purpose to exist other than eat, live, reproduce. That's it, isn't it? Whereas a human being is one who should have a purpose, a direction, a focus, isn't it? And if we do not have that focus, if we do not have that goal, then we cease to be human beings. We cease to be living as per the human potential, right? So Bhagavad Gita gives that direction. Bhagavad Gita gives that goal to the human being. What is that goal? It talks about 4 goals. Artha, Kama, Dharma, Moksha. Artha means material wealth. Kama means enjoyment. Dharma means values, higher values. And then Moksha means liberation. So, Artha, wealth you need to transact in the world. And you transact in the world for enjoyment. Right? So, you keep the goal as Artha, procuring wealth, acquiring wealth in the beginning. Then you want to enjoy with that wealth, or you don't want to enjoy with the wealth. You want obviously to use the wealth and enjoy life. So then that's your next goal. Then higher than that, there are certain things like heaven, where you are told you will get superlative enjoyment. Then that becomes your goal, because you see these enjoyments are passing. So you are in the hope that at least something beyond that will probably continue for a longer period. Then you search that. Then you realize that all these are temporary. Then there is something called as freedom. Above everything, I need to be free. Supposing I am given a 10-bedroom house or 25-bedroom house, but I am told you will have to live in that house only. You cannot move out of the house. You are under house arrest with all the facilities. Would you like that? You will say, listen, just give me 1 bedroom, but leave me free. Ultimately, what we are looking for is not just happiness, but freedom as well. You understand? How to be free? What is real freedom? Now, in today's context, everybody is thinking licentiousness to be freedom. There's a difference between being licentious, being free. Licentious means doing as per what your mind commands you to do. Doing as per what your mind commands you to do. Mind is full of likes and dislikes, isn't it? I like this, I don't like this. I'm a free person, I will do whatever I like, and I will not do what I don't like. This is your definition of a free person, isn't it? Are you really free when you follow the demands of your likes and dislikes? Are you really free? Can anybody answer? Why? Because you are not free from the commands and demands of your mind. I can easily predict this person will function like this only because his likes and dislikes are like this. So his mind is telling, do this, he will do. His mind is telling, don't do this, he will not do, even though it may be necessary for him to do. So is he really free? Every one of us are dictated terms by our own mind. And we are all going by the whims and fancies of our mind, and we think we are free. Are we really free? We are not free. So when we learn how to control and direct our mind, then we can be free. When we control and direct our mind, mind becomes our friend. When mind controls and directs us, mind becomes our enemy. You understand? In fact, there's a shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, called as Dhyana Yoga. Chapter 6 of the Bhagavad Gita is called Dhyana Yoga, Yoga of meditation. In that verse number 5, he says, Sri Krishna says, Uddared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadet Atmaiva Atmano Bandhuhu Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. Your mind is your friend, Bandha. Your mind, Bandhu means friend. Your mind is your friend, Ripu means enemy. Your mind is your enemy. When your mind is controlled and directed by you, it becomes your friend. When your mind controls and directs you, it becomes your enemy. You all would have seen that picture where Sri Krishna is seated on the chariot and Arjuna is also seated in the same chariot, and Sri Krishna is giving the knowledge to Arjuna, isn't it? There is this metaphor has a beautiful symbolism. What is the metaphor teaching us? Chariot represents our body. Chariot represents our physical body. Horses represents the senses, indriyas. And the reins represent the mind. Arjuna represents the individual, you and me. Sri Krishna represents the intellect in us, buddhi. Every human being is made up of physical body, mind, intellect, enlivened by Atma, the self, or soul. Generally it's understood like that. I would put it as soul with capital S. You understand? So you, me, all of us are what? Body, mind, intellect, enlivened by Atma. Correct? Body by itself does not act. It is either propelled by the mind or by the intellect or the combination. Isn't it? Body is compared to the chariot. And the mind is compared with the reins. And intellect is compared with the Sri Krishna, with Sri Krishna. And then Arjuna is you and me. Arjuna represents you and me, the individuals. And then horses represent the senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin. Right? Now, if the reins control the horses and Sri Krishna controls the reins, then the chariot will be moving on the road properly towards the goal, and Arjuna can be comfortably seated and reach the goal destination safely. Isn't it? If Sri Krishna has gone off to sleep and the reins are let loose and each horse is going in different direction, what will happen to the chariot? The chariot will break, collapse. And when chariot collapses, where would Arjuna be? On the road. You understand? So our body should be controlled by the mind, and our mind should be controlled by the intellect. So when our intellect controls the mind and the body, meaning the senses, then we will be able to move towards the ultimate goal of life. The very path, the journey will also be happy, and we'll also reach that happiness. You understand? And that is what Bhagavad Gita teaches. Intellect controlling the mind, mind controlling the body. Whereas now it's the other way around. In fact, many of us are living life with no goal. What is your purpose? No idea. I don't know. Or they say, khao piyo maja karo. That's all. That's my goal. That's it. Or somehow I have to live one more day. And I wish this happened every day. Right? Next day when I ask you, what's your goal? I just want to live one more day. I just want to see sun tomorrow morning. That's my purpose. Nobody seemed to have a purpose. So, there's a very interesting story Swamiji has given in the book Vedanta Treatise. There was an archer in a village who used to hit bullseye 100 out of 100 times. Even the Olympic champion maybe hits 95 out of 100. But this archer used to hit 100 out of 100 times bullseye. So, Olympic champion wanted to meet him. So he went to his village and he prostrated to him and said, "Sir, my best is 95 out of 100. You seem to hit 100 out of 100. Why you are not competing in Olympics? You should be the Olympic champion, not me. So please teach me the technique. He said, I want a promise from you. If you promise me that whatever I'm going to teach you, you will not tell others, then I will teach you. I'll tell you the technique, the secret. He said, okay, please tell me. I won't tell anyone. I'll promise you. Then he said, see, the problem with you is, you draw the bullseye first and then shoot. Whereas what I do is, I shoot and then draw the bullseye around it. So this is how we are living today. There is no sense of direction. There is no sense of purpose. Our intellect is not strong to guide us. You understand? What we are strengthening today is only intelligence. Intelligence is what? Being well informed in one or more subjects. There are a lot of oncologists, if not a lot, few oncologists you can say, who are addicted to cigarette. Yes or no? There are heart specialists who are addicted to smoking. Don't they know how harmful cigarettes are? Do you have to go and tell them how bad it is for their health? They can tell you better than you, isn't it? They know better than you. Yet they are not able to control themselves from smoking. So what is this? They are intelligent, but they are lacking the intellect. Intellect is a faculty in us which can control and direct the mind, control and direct the senses. Only if the intellect controls and directs the mind and the senses can we experience happiness. You understand? But unfortunately, though everybody is searching for happiness, nobody is putting in any effort in building the intellect. In fact, in this portion, Sthita Prajna, which we are going to see in this starting today for 4 days, there is a portion where he talks about developing the intellect. There are shlokas dedicated for that. Dedicated for developing the intellect. What happens when you don't develop the intellect? How you fall? So what do you need to do to develop the intellect? That is discussed here. Because Sthita Prajna is one whose intellect is 24/7, 365 days, controlling and directing the mind and the senses. In fact, Sri Krishna's one of the names is Achyuta. You know what does Achyuta mean? What does Achyuta mean? One who is never fallen. One who is never fallen. Meaning always aware. 24/7, 365 days aware. Are we aware like that? Are we mindful? How our mind is going on getting distracted, isn't it? So how to maintain that awareness 24/7, even in sleep, even during sleep. Verse number 69 in this chapter, we will start from 54th shloka. 69th shloka, Sri Krishna talks about it. How a perfect human being maintains awareness throughout. And can you fall with awareness? You know, there's a very interesting advertisement I saw in the television when I was watching cricket match. There's a guy who is talking on the phone, mobile, and crossing the road, right? He's talking on the phone and crossing the road, and there's a car that is coming. This fellow is not aware of the car and is blindly crossing the road, right? The car comes so fast, but it stops very close to him. And this fellow turns at him and says, "Abhe, andhe hai kya?" The guy is walking, crossing the road, using the mobile phone, unmindful of the car coming. The car fellow stopped. Otherwise, this guy would have died or badly injured. But this fellow turns towards him and says, "Are you blind?" and then they say, Seat tires. Because of Seat tires, you escaped. So now the problem is, not only we are not aware that we are not aware. This is a serious condition. Isn't this a serious condition? One thing is to have disease. It is entirely another thing to be not aware that you are having that disease. So I thought that advertisement was fantastic. The fellow is crossing the road, unmindful, not at all aware, and he's saying, are you blind? He's thinking, I'm fine. We are all in the same condition. We think all of us are absolutely fine. The problem is with the world. And what do we say? Wife, husband, children, in-laws, parents, society, leaders, politicians, administrators. We keep blaming the world. Hardly do we understand that I lack a strong intellect to be able to deal with the world. Isn't it? See, do you know something called a sharpening stone? Do you know sharpening stone? Have you heard of it? You use that stone to sharpen the knife. Have you seen the sharpening stone? Is it rough or smooth? Is it rough or smooth? The sharpening stone. It will be rough. If it is rough, only then can you make the knife sharp. If it is smooth, you cannot sharpen the knife. Now, if you do not know how to sharpen the knife using the stone, sharpening stone, rough stone, you will make it more blunt and then blame the stone for being sharp. For being rough. If you know the technique of how to contact the knife with the sharpening stone, then you won't complain. You'll be happy that the stone is rough. The stone should be rough, not smooth. Only then can you sharpen it. So if the world is full of challenges, only then can you become strong. Only then can you grow. Isn't it? Would Roger Federer like to play against you and me or against Nadal? Against Djokovic? He would like to play against Djokovic. He would like to play against Nadal. Even though he may lose few matches and win only few matches. But he would still like to play against Nadal. Nadal would like to play against Roger Federer, not against you or me. You understand? So if you want to grow in life, your challenge has to be bigger. World is full of challenges. You understand? World is full of challenges. And we are going on blaming the world without realizing that I have not strengthened my intellect. If my intellect is strong, then it doesn't matter. Whatever may be the challenge that is thrown at me, I could still face it. So what I'm doing is, to compensate for the lack of intellect, I'm supporting it with degree certificate, skill certificate, experience certificate. See, if I'm running a business and if I'm getting the resume of Arjuna, I won't even interview him. Immediately I'll employ him. Because Arjuna was number one in the art of archery. He was number one in his field. Right? He was number one in his field. He had a lot of experience. He had won many battles. In fact, one of the names of Arjuna was Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya means what? Winner of wealth. How did he win wealth for his kingdom? He conquered many kingdoms and brought wealth to his kingdom. That is how he was called as Dhananjaya. So what does it mean? He has a lot of experience. He has skill. He has experience. He is number one in the art of archery. You understand? What better can you ask for as a CEO of your company who can focus very well? In the story of Mahabharata, when Dronacharya was teaching all the students the archery, it was only Arjuna who said, "What are you seeing?" when he was asked. He said, "I'm only seeing the bird's eye." They had to focus on the bird and shoot the bird. Everybody else was saying, "I'm seeing the tree, I'm seeing the branch, I'm seeing the full body of the parrot, bird, etc." Arjuna said, "I'm seeing the eye of the bird." Such was his focus in that particular field. But his focus was not the same in all challenging situations. That's why on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when he was placed there to fight against his own guru, Dronacharya, and Bhishma Pitamaha, his own great-grandfather, he succumbed to his emotions. He said, "I can't fight." He said, "I can't fight." What happened to his intellect? He was not able to control his mind. When the intellect doesn't control the mind, and the mind doesn't control the senses, you fall into stress. What is happening is, challenge is bigger than you. When you are bigger than challenge, will it give you stress? Will it give you stress? No. If the challenge is much bigger than you, will it give you stress? You understand? So why did Arjuna fall into stress? Because the challenge is much bigger. Was the challenge external or internal? Was his challenge external? Was he lacking any skill to fight against Bhishma and Drona? What was he lacking? He was lacking the mental strength. How can I use weapons against my own guru? How I can use weapons against my own great-grandfather? How I can use weapons against my own relatives, my friends? Mahabharata war was between cousins, isn't it? They all grew up together. Lot of fond memories. Right? So he is not able to fight against his own emotions. So when it comes to the internal battle, with all our skills, with all our experiences, with all our intelligence, we still fail. This is what we need to understand. So does it mean that intelligence is useless? Skill is useless? Experience is useless? No. We would put intelligence, skill, experience in the category of importance. They are important. You understand? But strengthening the intellect is essential. Do you understand the difference? Do you understand the difference between essential and important? Can you live without oxygen? Can you live without oxygen? So oxygen is essential. You cannot live without oxygen. Can you live without protein? Yes or no? You can. You understand? So, but protein is important. You need protein. It is important. But you can live without it. But you cannot live without oxygen. So protein comes under the category of important. Oxygen comes under the category of essential. Similarly in life, intelligence, skill, experience, all this comes under the category of important. Whereas building the intellect comes under the category of essential. But today we have chosen important aspects vis-a-vis essential aspect. And that is why there is rampant stress everywhere. There is rampant stress everywhere because we are not building the intellect. We are building the intelligence. We are building skill. Skill will help you for survival. You understand? Survival is living. Intellect is life. What is the difference between living and life? When a tiger is chasing a deer and the deer is trying to escape from the tiger, tiger is chasing the deer and the deer is running away from the tiger, deer is trying to make a life, tiger is trying to make a living. Please understand. When the tiger is chasing a deer, it is trying to make a living. When the deer is trying to escape from the tiger, it is running to make a life. We have all mortgaged life for living. Today the whole world is running after survival. Nobody is learning about life. Now, once you learn about life, then you know how to survive. Survival is simple if you know the knowledge of life. You understand? If you just have the knowledge of living, then life is difficult. This is what is happening today. All of us are just meandering without knowing what is really the purpose, where is that happiness, and that direction Bhagavad Gita gives. So this is what we need to understand. Why we should study Gita. Why even in today's day and age, we are putting in this effort to study Gita in different cities. We go and we try to do this. Even if there are few people who can start studying, they'll benefit. And seeing them leading a perfect life, others may get inspired. That's the idea. So Bhagavad Gita gives us direction in life. It strengthens our intellect. It strengthens our character. And with a strong character, we can face any challenges in life. In fact, there is a invocation to Bhagavad Gita given by Swami Madhusudana Saraswati. The Swami's name is Swami Madhusudana Saraswati. He has written 9 shlokas. They are called as Dhyana shlokas. Prayer shlokas before studying the Gita. In the 8th shloka, he says, Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. What he's saying is, Mukam karoti vachalam. What does Mukam means? Dumb person. One who cannot speak. So he says, Bhagavad Gita will make a dumb person speak eloquently. Mukam karoti vachalam. Pangum langayate girim. Pangu means a lame person. Right? One who is physically challenged. Right? Differently abled. So now it says, Pangum langayate girim. A differently abled person, physically challenged person, can scale a mountain. So what is it trying to say? See, what happens is, our focus today is upon what we lack. मेरे पास ये नहीं है, मेरे पास वो नहीं है. We are going on focusing on what we lack. Bhagavad Gita shifts our attention towards what we have. How to put what we have into use properly. You understand? Many years ago, somebody gave me a book. The title of the book is called My Foot. It's about a painter who has given out wonderful paintings, but he has no hands. He has no hands. Both the hands are not there. He doesn't have both the hands. He holds the painting brush with his toes and then paints. We have hands, fingers, everything functioning properly. Still, we can't draw a straight line using a scale. Whereas that person has no hands, using his toes, holding the brush with his toes, and has given out wonderful paintings. What is that? He is not seeing what he does not have. He is putting what he has to better use. Isn't it? Yes or no? So, a dumb person can speak eloquently, meaning he doesn't focus on what he does not have. I may not have a better body. I may not have a better mind. I may not have a better intellect. But I am the Atma, the self. I am that infinite reality. You understand? So once I focus on what I am, vis-a-vis what all I do not have, I can start accomplishing many things in life. Unfortunately today, we only go towards what we do not have. You know, you have 32 teeth. If one falls and there's a gap there, your tongue goes finding that gap all the time. Have you seen it? Till then you are not doing it on a regular basis. Are you? On a daily basis are you doing this? You are not. But if one tooth falls and the gap has come there, what do? Your tongue goes to find that gap. There are 31 teeth. Only one has fallen. Still the tongue is going towards that gap. Similarly, our mind is always finding what we do not have. If we have a strong intellect, it will shift our mind from focusing on what we do not have to what all we have. We become self-contented, self-poised, self-pleased, as I said. And only a person who is self-poised, self-pleased, self-contented, self-confident can achieve something in life. दूसरों को जय से पहले खुद को जय करे. Isn't it? दूसरों को जय से पहले खुद को जय करे. Before we get on conquering others, we have to first conquer ourselves. Conquer ourselves means what? Conquer our mind, conquer our senses. So this is what Bhagavad Gita can do to us. And Bhagavad Gita is given in 18 chapters. And as I said, the first chapter is only Arjuna talking. So therefore, generally in our lectures, we just give the summary of chapter 1. Those of you who are interested to study Gita, we have a YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is called Vedanta Rishi Rina. Vedanta Rishi Rina. Why are we calling this channel as Vedanta Rishi Rina? Rina, you know, what is Rina? Indebtedness. We all have indebtedness to the Rishis. Right? Bhagavad Gita has come to us in this format that we have today because of the Rishi Veda Vyasaji. Isn't it? Without the contribution of the great sage Veda Vyasa, we would not have the Bhagavad Gita. You understand? So, like this, so many Rishis have given us scriptures, have given us the knowledge. We have an indebtedness to them, to pay back to them. You have an indebtedness to your parents. Indebtedness to your parents. You have to pay back to them. You have an indebtedness to your school. You have to pay back. You have an indebtedness to your society, nation. Like that, we have indebtedness to the teachers, the rishis. And what are we supposed to do? Study the scriptures that they had given to us. Reflect upon the truths given in the scriptures and build our intellect. And when we build our intellect, we can be peaceful and we can spread harmony. Otherwise, we will be in pieces and we will be spreading disharmony. This is what is happening today. We are all in pieces, isn't it? So much of depression and all that, and we are going on spreading disharmony. Swami Ramtita says, if you are sad, if you are depressed, the least you can do is lock yourself inside the room, don't come out. He says, don't come out and spread the melancholy. Lock yourself inside the room. Come out only if you are cheerful. Have you ever seen a picture of Sri Krishna without a smile? Unless you paint one. You understand? Unless you paint one, you will never find a picture of Sri Krishna without a smile. Even on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Sri Krishna is smiling. What is that indicating? In spite of all the challenges, you can still be cheerful. How to be cheerful, how to be peaceful, how to spread harmony around, how you can be like a lighthouse. This is what Bhagavad Gita talks about. So, in the second chapter, the entire Bhagavad Gita is given as a summary. Then in the 18th chapter again, the entire Bhagavad Gita is given as a summary. Like when they read news, they say headlines first. And then elaborate news. And then headlines again when they conclude. Isn't it? Similarly, first they give the summary in the second chapter. That's why second chapter is a huge chapter. 72 shlokas. And we do it in 2 years. Because we come once a year. So last year I did the first half. This year we'll do the second half. And then 18th chapter again is a very big chapter, 78 shlokas. The entire Gita has 700 shlokas, out of which these two chapters themselves are 150. So balance is only what? 550. 550 shlokas divided by 16 chapters. 150 chapters divided by 2 chapters. Because they give the summary. You understand? So, in the second chapter, beginning, he talked about the individual, and which I mentioned to you. You have the body, you have the mind, you have the intellect. Now you can see on the screen topics of chapter 2. Right? We are now going to do the last topic. Description of an enlightened soul. From verse 54 to 72. Before that, we've already completed 5 topics. So like I said, if you are interested in studying all this, you can go back to our YouTube channel, Vedanta Rishi Rina. You have all these lectures over there. You can listen to them. So, in the first portion of the second chapter, what he gives is, what is your true nature? And then he talks about Karma Yoga. See, first of all, before I know about everything, I should know about myself. I will ask you a question. If you are lost in a desert, when you go to Dubai, you go for that, what do you call that, desert safari, right? Suppose you get lost there. They left you there and they've all gone back to Dubai. How do you get back to Dubai? Let us assume that you don't have a mobile phone. How will you get back to Dubai? How will you get back? No mobile phone, nothing. How would you get back? With the help of the sun. You know that sun rises in the east, isn't it? So when you know this is the direction in which the sun is rising, so this is east. And once you know which is east, then you know which is west, north, south, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. Then you know which direction to go to Dubai from there. Of course you have to walk, you will get tired and all that is there. But at least now, since you know which direction the sun is rising, which direction you got to go becomes clear, isn't it? Today in life, we are all meandering because we do not know who am I. If I ask you who are you, you will give your name. None of us had a name for the first few days when we were born. Isn't it? There will be a naming ceremony after 5th day or 10th day, I don't know. Isn't it? Till then, how were you called? All of us were called without a name. How? Chinchu, Tantita. Like that they called all of us, isn't it? We had no name. After few days, they gave us a name. Isn't it? But if I ask you, who are you? You will give your name. Or you will say, I'm an engineer. That's your profession, that's not you. Or you will say, I'm Gupta. I'm Nair. That's your caste, that's not you. Or you will say, I'm a man or a woman. That's your sex, that's not you. Then who are you? I don't know. You understand? Without knowing who am I, and I don't know where I came from. Before I was in my mother's womb, where was I? After I die, where do I go? I don't know. I don't know where I come from. I don't know where I am going. I don't know what I am doing here. I don't know who I am. But I am leading a life. I want success, happiness, everything, without any knowledge. How is this possible? Matthew Arnold says, life is an arrow, shot from darkness, flutters in light for a while, and disappears into darkness. It's a beautiful quotation. Matthew Arnold says, life is an arrow, shot from darkness, flutters in light for a while, disappears into darkness. So we don't know where we come from. We don't know where we are going. And in between, little bit of light is there. And we say, I am this man or a woman. I am this engineer or a doctor. I am belonging to this caste or that. X, Y, Z. Without knowing who am I, we are continuing our life. How is it possible? So Vedanta says, first fix that. Once you fix that, then everything gets fixed. Like once you know where the sun rises, then you know how to get to your destination. So therefore Vedanta or Bhagavad Gita talks about this. In the second chapter, in the beginning, he talks about that. Who are you? Then what are you supposed to do here? Knowing who you are, you go about functioning. Without knowing who you are, if you function, you'll be functioning like a chicken without head. Have you seen? When they cut the chicken, they first cut the head of the chicken, neck. And for some time, the chicken is not immediately dead. It will be jumping without head. So like that here, our actions are all very sporadic, very impulsive. Not knowing what to do, we are doing. Chalta hai. You ask everybody, how are you? Chalta hai. You understand? At least they are true to themselves. They say, chalta hai. So, first know who you are. So Sri Krishna gives that in the beginning. Who you are. And then he says, knowing who you are, do your duties. How to do your duty? In a nutshell he gave. From shloka number 45 to 53. That is called as Karma Yoga. Now the same thing what he discussed from shloka number 45 to 53, he discusses in detail in the third chapter called as Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means what? Science of action. Why you should do action. How you should do action. What is the technique of right action. What are the impediments to action. How you can overcome those impediments. This is what Bhagavad Gita teaches. And there's a chapter called the chapter 3 called Karma Yoga is dedicated for it. And we are thinking Bhagavad Gita should be studied after we turn 60. When we cannot act. When we can't sit, when we can't get up. What is the point in learning about how to act? No problem. Better late than never. But ideally speaking, you got to learn first and then live. So from 45th shloka to 53rd shloka of chapter 2, Sri Krishna in a nutshell gives Karma Yoga. Desireless actions. You can see on the board. Desireless actions lead to self-realization. From verse 45 to 53. So through the action, you attain a perfect state of mind, and in a perfect state of mind, your true self reflects. And you become a perfect human being. This is what he said. So what did he say? by learning who you are, understanding who we are, and if you do the right actions, your mind will become calm. See, when you see a lake, if the lake is having lot of waves, lot of ripples, and lot of dirt in it, will it reflect the sun in the water? Will you see the sun reflected in the water? If the water is pure and no dirt is there and no ripples are there, then you can see the sun's reflection beautifully in the water surface, isn't it? Similarly, when our mind is full of dirt, doubts, and our mind is having a lot of agitations, ripples, will the true self reflect in it? No. But when the mind is quietened, with no agitations, and the mind is purified with no doubts, no worries, no anxieties, in that calm, composed, serene mind, the true self reflects. So if you want to know who you are, you have to first bring your mind to calmness, to quietude, to serenity, to purity. That's why Jesus Christ said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So when you bring your mind to purity, to stability, to serenity, through you the true self reflects itself, then you become a perfect human being. He said that in sloka number 53. In verse number 48, he says, Samatvam yogam uchyate. What is yoga? Being mentally balanced is called yoga, he says. Samatvam yogam uchyate. Then in 50th sloka he says, Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Dexterity in action is yoga. Which means what? Only when your mind is stable, calm, composed, serene, can you act dexterously. And your mind cannot be stable if the intellect is weak. If the intellect is strong, then it can be made stable. You understand? And with the stable mind, you can perform actions dexterously by which you will realize the self and you will also be successful in the world. Then you become a perfect human being. So, when Sri Krishna said all this, Arjuna was listening. Now Arjuna is asking a question. That's how this portion starts, called Sthita Prajna. So I had to give you all this introduction. Otherwise you will think, what are we doing today? Suddenly if I start with verse number 54, you will not know what is the context. That's why I am giving you all this background. Okay? Tomorrow I will start discussing Sthita Prajna in detail, tomorrow onwards. So today we will just do one shloka. We started about 15 minutes late. So I will conclude also 15 minutes late. But tomorrow we will start exactly at 6:30 and we will conclude at 7:30. Okay? So let's chant shloka number 54. This 54th shloka is where Arjuna is talking. Now remember, Bhagavad Gita is a conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. It's a samvada. It is not a dialogue. It's not just Sri Krishna talking, giving lecture. It's a discussion between the Guru and Sishya. So Arjuna the Sishya is now asking, please describe that perfect person which you talked about. That's the question. Let's chant verse number 54.
Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthita dhim kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim.
Arjuna uvacha. Uvacha means said. Arjuna uvacha means Arjuna said. He told this to Sri Krishna. See, remember, this is given verbally those days, right? Now you don't know who's speaking. So you have to be told who's speaking. So they wrote down Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna said. Arjuna spoke to Sri Krishna. What did he say? Sthita prajnasya kha bhasha. What is the description of sthita prajna? I already explained to you. Nyaha means what? One who knows. Prajnaha means one who knows well. Sthita prajnaha means one who knows well steadily 24/7, 365 days. Meaning one who is transformed. One who is having wisdom, not just knowledge. One who is having intellect, not just intelligence. You understand? So Arjuna is asking, what is the description of one of steady wisdom merged in super conscious state, O Keshava? Samadhis tasya Keshava. Keshava is Sri Krishna's another name. So, O Krishna, please describe a perfect person. Samadhi means a balanced mind. One whose wisdom is steady and one who's got balanced mind. And sthita dihi. Dihi means wisdom, wise person. Sthita dihi means one who is steadily wise, whose wisdom is steady. So he's asking, what is the description of one of steady wisdom merged in superconscious state, O Keshava? How does one of steady wisdom speak? Kim prabhasheta. How does he speak? Kim asita. How does he sit? Kim vrajeta. How does he walk? Vrajeta kim means how does he walk? So what are the 4 questions he's asking? What is the description of a perfect person? How does he speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? Now these questions look very ordinary. What is this, man? How does he sit? Is he sitting on the chair? Or is he sitting on the floor? Or is he sitting in cross-legged position? Or Vajrasan? What position is he sitting? Is he asking like that? What is he asking? What he's saying is, I want to know the nature of a person with steady wisdom. I want to know about man of steady wisdom. Description, first question. Second question is, how does he speak? Speech is one organ of action. We have 5 organs of action. Out of that, speech is one organ of action. And through speech, we express our thoughts, isn't it? Thoughts are subtle. They are not seen. When the thoughts get expressed through the words, then we come to know of the thoughts. You understand? So the subtle is expressed through the gross. So what he's asking is, how does a man of perfection express the infinity within through these finite activities? That is the meaning. When he says, how does he speak? He's not asking, does he speak in English? Does he speak in Sanskrit? Does he speak in Hindi? He's not asking that. What is he asking? How does the infinite express through the finite? Okay. Then how does he sit? When you are sitting, you are not running around. What does it show? It talks about the introvertedness. It talks about your inner personality. So when he's saying how does he sit means, what is his inner personality like? What is the state of mind of that person who's realized? Does he have emotions? Does he have emotions or not? That is the question. You understand? Please describe the state of the mind of a person who is attained perfection. When he says, how does he sit? Then how does he walk? When you walk, you go and contact people. You contact the world. Isn't it? When you contact the world, do you only contact good? Or do you only contact bad? You contact both, na? You contact both good and bad. When you get out, sometimes the traffic is very smooth. Sometimes the traffic is very bad. So, when he contacts these different experiences, how does he contact? What are his reactions? That is the meaning when he asks, how does he walk? Do you get it? So, first he wants to know the general description of a perfect person. Then he wants to know how does the infinite express itself through the finite. Then he wants to know the inner personality of a perfect person. Then he is asking how does the perfect person meet the challenges of life. So the answers given to all this from verse number 55 to 58 we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow Sri Krishna will speak. Thank you. Hari Om.